Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table. Let's talk about everything from the latest fitness and wellness trends, recipes that are actually worth cooking, and the craziness that's happening on our side of the internet. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. It is 5:50 on Friday, April 24th. I have my candle lit. I have some beautiful roses on my coffee table. And I am ready to talk to you about a few things. But before we get into all of it, let's talk about what is on my table right now. One of them, I know it's going to feel like I'm beating a dead horse because I keep saying it every time I get up here, but that's because I keep making it. And every time I make it, I'm like, dang, this is really good. And everybody should be doing this. Y'all, that whole roasted chicken from the Barefoot Contessa, undefeated. Undefeated because every time I make it, I'm like, dang, this is really that good. Now, today, though, I wanted to talk about that whole roasted chicken versus the rotisserie chicken we all buy when we are at Sam's, Costco, or your local favorite grocery store. Because those little rotisserie chickens are what, like $6 maybe? And we love those. They are juicy. They are tender. They have flavor. You know what I'm saying? And we're always very tempted to just buy the $6 chicken because it exists and it's there and it's basically the same thing, but it's not. And that whole roasted chicken by Barefoot Contessa is one of those things where once you start having it, it will really be hard for you to go back to the rotisserie chicken for $6. It really is. Now, of course, when you buy a whole roasted chicken, you probably are going to spend more than $6, depending on the size of your chicken. Right? And yes, the other ingredients, coming home and making it, buying the rotisserie chicken is a much better buy. Like it is a more budget friendly thing to do for sure. And then on top of that, you don't have to make it once you get it home. So I completely understand the case for the rotisserie chicken that they already sell in the store. However, if you could just walk with me for a second, we can hold hands. I'm that kind of girl. That whole roasted chicken by Barefoot Contessa, the flavor in it is unmatched. You will not find a rotisserie chicken nowhere that tastes just as good as that one. The skin on that whole roasted chicken is so crispy, like it's perfect. It's crispy without being burnt. The inside of your chicken is going to be perfectly juicy. And the flavor of the lemon and the thyme and the onion is going to be all throughout that chicken. All throughout. Please, if you don't make any other thing that I ever recommend up here, please make your own chicken. Make your own chicken because you can do 8 million things with it the same way you would with that rotisserie chicken, turning it every which way but loose. You can do this, but your chicken is going to be bigger, plumper, better. And I really just have run out of words for it. Please make that chicken. Please don't let me be the only one making that thing every week because it is the best. I made a spicy Cajun pasta at the request of my daughter. She saw a video online and she sent it to me and said, is this something that you can make happen for me? And I said, why not? I aim to please. I aim to serve. Let me make this pasta for you. That pasta was so good. I mean, I didn't make it exactly like the video. Instead of using half and half, I used heavy whipping cream because that's just who I am. And then I always add truffle oil to my pastas because I feel like if you have it, you should use it. You know what I'm saying? That pasta was so good. It would rival any pasta that you probably would get at like a Papados. I'm trying to think of like a chain that's not Olive Garden because not Olive Garden, but somewhere like a Papados where you go, they're going to have pasta and the flavors are supposed to be like that Cajun Creole, whatever. I guarantee you this pasta is just as good, if not better, than whatever it is they got on their menu these days over there. I shared the video on Instagram. I'll share it again if I can remember after this episode comes out. But that pasta was some kind of good. It reheat really well. And you know what? I took a bite of it like cold out of the refrigerator. And I stood straight up after I had my little sample. I said, oh, baby, because what you could do if you knew you were going to a cookout and you had to like bring something, what you could do is you could make that the day before. You got to take it somewhere, bring it down to room temperature before you pop it in your refrigerator, let it sit all night in that fridge or until whenever you're ready to go. Take it to wherever you're going and you could serve that pasta cold as a cold pasta salad with the fettuccine noodles. Ooh, I love it. That would be a really great make and take if you're in circles where you have to make and take. That is a good one. And as soon as I ate it cold, I said, oh, baby, duly noted. Whenever I have to go somewhere or if I'm invited to something, they're like, oh, why don't you bring something? I'm like, I can add this to my list of things that I know tastes really good. It holds really well. The next day, it's going to still eat really well, and you can eat it cold. There's no reason to warm this up. But if someone wanted to warm it up, they absolutely could. I love that. I love a versatile recipe. That was really good. Now, we had Cookbook Club last Sunday. And let me just tell you, fewer things are better than Cookbook Club. The food is always good. The wine is always good. The conversation is always great. The playlist was amazing. It is just a good girlfriend time. We all made a board from the board's cookbook. I took the Oktoberfest board. I made bratwurst with onions. I made a German potato salad, and I made basically like a German slaw. It had apple, fennel, and celery in it in a vinaigrette that you make. Oh no, it was a remoulade. I'm sorry. It was a remoulade, and it was good. My little items were great. To accompany my items, I had pretzel bites, pickles, rye bread, and I think that was it. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. One of my friends did a chopped salad. Her chopped salad was so good that I had that for dinner tonight. Like I got the cookbook out and I looked at the recipe and I said, oh baby, I got almost all this stuff in here. I'll be having that for dinner tonight because I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since Cookbook Club. So I ran that back and had it for dinner tonight. I feel great. It was delicious. My two other friends made charcuterie boards that had like an assortment of like chutneys and dips and spreads and like all of the girl dinner bites that you just want to eat over and over again that you can't stop yourself from eating. It was amazing. We had birthday cake. I ordered one from scratch at Costco, and it was the one that has like the vanilla cake with like the cheesecake filling. Yes, and the people at Costco are so nice. I called them and was like, hey, I'm on the app trying to order this cake, but it's not letting me do it. And the lady was like, oh, baby, that's because you done missed the deadline. You done missed the deadline to pick up a cake on Sunday. And I said, ooh, girl, well, do y'all sell these in the store? Like if I come down to Costco, can I just buy one of these and then I'll come home and do my best to write happy birthday on it? And she said, oh, honey, let me walk back here and see if somebody will do this for you. And somebody was willing to do it for me. That's why those people will get my membership money every year. Every year they will get my membership money because their customer service is really just that good. They really do make a girl feel special. So we had birthday cake to celebrate the most recent birthdays, and it was a time. I highly recommend if you have a group of friends and everybody doesn't even have to be like the strongest of cooks. And by strongest, I mean, you don't have to be a person that cooks all the time. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be willing to follow a recipe a few times a year, you know? Gather your girlfriends and do something like this. Pick out a cookbook. Everybody picks a recipe from the cookbook. We all gather together and we have like basically like a cute little dinner party. We don't meet every month. We don't even meet every other month, but we try to meet as often as we can. And when we do, it is such a great time. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10 experience. And it's something different and fun to do. I feel like girls' nights always include like going out or going here or going there. It's really something so comforting and soothing about being in someone's home, having a really good meal, not being pressed for anything. And it just flows the way that you would want it to. So I wanted to share that. And then also, I'm going to put this in our Tia Tables segment because I feel like it's something that I want to talk about and I don't know where else it would fit, girl, to be honest with you. I want to talk about the ratio of protein to fiber because I feel like you hear a lot of people talking about protein or you hear a lot of people talking about fiber, but you rarely ever hear people talking about the two of them together and how they do that on a daily basis. Like what are you really getting in every day? Tell me your numbers to give me kind of like a guide of what I should be aiming to do so that if I'm eating all this protein, I know all this protein is also making its way out, right? You know what I'm saying? It occurred to me a couple weeks ago because, you know, I've been solely focused on fiber ever since me and that colostomy bag broke up. I said, I'm going to make sure I keep this body moving the way this bag had me moving because now I know it's actually possible. So I said to myself, of course, now I'm about to start eating more protein because I'm working out again. So, you got to do that. But what is my number for fiber that keeps me going the way that I want to go based on the amount of protein that I eat? This is why logging food is so important, because the more you know about yourself, the more you know about yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I know I eat roughly 100 grams of protein a day, because that's exactly what I eat almost every day. If I know I eat that every day, I knew before this I was getting maybe 20 grams of fiber a day. And yeah, like I was going to the bathroom, but I really wasn't like going as much as I remember my personal trainer thinking that I should be going. Because if you've been my friend on these calls for a long time, you remember back when I had the personal trainer, she would always be surprised at how very little I was pooping. But for me, it was my normal. It was regular. So I was just like, no, girls, this is how much I always poop. Like, I'm fine. Let's not get into this too deep and let's just try to get me some results, right? Right. Now I see things through a completely different lens. And I'm here to say, if you are eating somewhere about 100 grams of protein a day, I know the recommended amount of fiber for women every day is 25 grams, but I think that is based on people just kind of being casual eaters. Maybe they're not loading up on macros and doing all the stuff we talk about on this podcast. For me, and this is not me telling you to do this, I am telling you to figure out what your number is, but I'm going to share my number because I feel like people need to see like a ratio. You know what I'm saying? So I eat 100 grams of protein a day. Some days I might touch 105, but rarely ever do I go over that. I'm eating no less than 30 grams of fiber a day. Sometimes I get up to about 34 grams of fiber. That little sweet spot, the 100 grams of protein to the 30 to 34 grams of fiber a day, has me moving and grooving the way I believe my personal trainer would be proud if I was still working with her. She would be. I know it because I remember the worksheet that I used to have to fill out. For me, what I like about knowing this is that now I know when I'm either away from home or if I have a day where things just don't feel right or I have an upset stomach or whatever the case may be, I'll know now exactly what my issue is because I'll know like, oh, you just did not eat enough fiber. Your body demands way more fiber than what you were feeding it before. And remember, before I might touch 20. I remember food logs where I would go through and look and I would have ended the day with like 17, 18. It was nowhere near 25. Let's start there. And it really wasn't even 20 a lot of days. Now I know I really do need to be somewhere in the range of 30 to 34 to combat the amount of protein that I'm eating. That's what works for my body. So when you hear people talking about eating 160 grams of protein in a day and you're looking at their physiques and you're like, oh my gosh, well, I want to look at that. Not that I think the people would respond to DMs or questions about this, but I would also ask these people, how much fiber are you eating to combat 160 grams of protein? Or are you taking a fiber supplement? Because many of them probably just pop a supplement as well as, eat all the things. But yeah, I would start asking that. When you see people and you're like, oh my gosh, her fitness routine is goals or like her physique is goals. And she's showing you, I eat 140 grams of protein in a day. I would start asking, how much fiber are you also eating in a day? Can you tell me how much fiber you're eating? Or do you take a fiber supplement? Because before people drastically increase their protein, they really should have really strong fiber habits. They really should. So I thought I would share that, especially as we start going into the summer months. I know we're about to hit May, and so people will be really doing their last final push for the summer. You will be tempted to increase your protein intake to see better results. But even if you planned on doing that, I normally land at about 100 every day. The most I would ever raise my protein intake to would probably be about 120. I would never eat more than 120 grams of protein in a day. And I have several thoughts and reasons for that. But I would never.
I would never. But if I were going to increase my protein by 20 grams, I would look at my fiber and I would say, okay, let's see how well my current fiber intake does with this additional 20 grams of protein. If my body keeps functioning the same way, then I'll know you can eat up to 120 grams of protein and stay within 30 to 34 grams of fiber and be okay. You're not going to have a distended belly. You're not going to be bloated. You're not going to have any discomfort. If I start noticing a change in the pattern or the way that I'm going to the bathroom once I increase my protein by that 20 grams, I'm going to say to myself, okay, well, then you probably should increase your fiber by at least another 5 grams to try to combat the amount of protein that you're now taking in. That is very, very important. And I think it's another really good trick or tip to just have in your toolbox, something that you should know about yourself. And you know what the other really great thing is about knowing things like that? It keeps you from like going off the deep end with feeling like you got to do everything. Like once you know what your numbers are in a lot of different ways, like once you know your macros and what your calories are and how your body responds to the different ways you eat, once you know all of that, there is such a nice little safety net there. Like knowing that stuff is the best safety net because it will keep you from doing the most. I feel like it'll keep you from feeling like you got to do and try everything that you see because you already know what works for you. And you're just like, okay, that something might be interesting. And you might see something and you might want to try it just for the sake of trying it. But because you know what works for you according to the meals you eat and how that works out with your numbers and how it makes your body function, you'll just have a peace of mind about your own process. And you'll be like, okay, well, I really don't have to do this or I really don't have to do that. I don't need to stress myself out about trying this or trying that because I already know what works for me and what I need to do to keep seeing the results that I want to see. So thought I would share that because I feel like the whole protein thing is a great conversation, but for the most part, you never hear anybody talk about the fiber that needs to go along with that to keep you, to keep you moving and grooving throughout the day. Okay, let us start with Emma Grede because I want to wrap her up and get her out of here. I saw the clip of her talking about microdose, and my first impression, because I had to watch it more than one time. My first impression watching that video was like a gasp, like, oh, I can't believe she just said basically to the world, because the internet knows no bounds. You just told the world you thought that girl was not extraordinary. You thought her idea, her baby, her business, her company, something that she had worked really hard on, something that was being sold in Sephora, which is no small feat, I'm sure. You just told everybody you didn't think it was special and it wasn't extraordinary. And that's why you did not invest in her company. And of course, we all know her company ended up closing. But what she goes on to say after that is, like, because they had always kept in touch, she offered that girl a job at Skims. And now, on the one hand, you say, oh, well, that was nice of her to offer her a job after her business shut down, whatever. But if you're like me, you hear all of this and you say to yourself, maybe her business wouldn't have shut down if you had given her the money. Like, had you invested in her, maybe we could still go in Sephora right now and buy some microdose, or maybe we could go online and buy it. Maybe she would have been able to become like direct to consumer. Who knows? Who knows where she would have been if you had given her the funding that she had asked for. Because while you are sitting there saying you didn't think her business was anything special or extraordinary, you definitely thought she as an individual, her mind was something special because you offered her an executive vice president position over at Skims, which is, I know, something y'all just not handing out to any and everybody. Something about you, Emma, makes me think you're not just passing out jobs all willy-nilly. You're not. So I wonder, what was it about her business that she did not find extraordinary or special? Because people were already buying it. Like her business was a business. It was running. It was going. And so you say something like that, and then we look at the businesses that you're involved with, and we're like, well, nothing about those businesses are extraordinary or necessarily special either, other than the fact that they are ran by what we will consider to be household names, right? Because they're ran by people with some type of celebrity, it was probably easier to get those businesses in stores or to get eyes on those businesses. Those women, those founders, they already have a very large audience. So that was just an easier thing to do, because there is not one thing extraordinary about denim, about jeans. Women typically are not even brand loyal to any one denim brand. If we're really going to sit here and think about it, you just happen to buy jeans that feel good, jeans that look good. If they are at a price point that you like and that you're willing to pay, if all of them things line up, then yeah, you'll get whatever pair of jeans. Because to be honest with you, and maybe I'm just not as in tune with the fashion world as somebody else, but I'm not going to lie to you. When I'm out in the world and I see people with jeans on, I don't know where your jeans are from. I'm not even going to hold you. I don't know where they're from. They could be from Old Navy. They could be from Walmart. They could be Levi's. They could be something you found at Kohl's. They could be from some store in the mall. They could be Abercrombie, American Eagle. Literally, they could be in anything. You could have on Chanel jeans. I don't even know if they make jeans, but you could have on one of those big luxury brands. And girl, I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't know it. And you know why? That's because jeans look like jeans. And as long as they look good on you, that is all that matters. There's nothing extraordinary about jeans. They have been making denim since the beginning of time. Nothing is special about that. The only thing that was special about that whole little business operation was the person that wanted to have that as a business. That was it. The other business that she's involved in, Skims, and I can't think of what that denim company's name is. I could look it up, but I really don't care to. But y'all know it's the other sister. One sister has the jeans, the other sister has Skims. Skims, I think when it first started, was loungewear. Like, it was really cute pajamas. It was the little matching two-piece sets, things that were really supposed to be cozy for at home. I have never ordered anything from Skims, but I have scanned the website before. And I think the last time I looked at their website might have been during the holiday season, and I saw that they had shapewear up there. I think they had swimwear up there. So they've expanded since they first got started, but none of that stuff is groundbreaking. It's really nice because I do know people that own some of it, and they said the quality is good. Like, the quality is good and it's cute, right? It's cute on them, which is, all of these are very important things for women, right? So we're not necessarily knocking, like I always say, we're not knocking the hustle and we're not knocking the product. I'm just pointing out that that is not really anything super extraordinary either. You'd have been able to go down to Dillard's, Belk, Macy's, and all the department stores for as long as I've been alive and get you some real nice hosiery, some real nice shapewear, some real nice pajamas, some real nice robes. Because where I'm from, that's where your grandma would go. Your grandma would go down to Belk's. She would get that Belk credit card out and she would get everybody some real cute, nice stuff. None of that is new. None of it is special. None of it is groundbreaking. It is only special because of who wanted to start that business. That's it. And I gotta say, watching that business grow and change and seeing some of the stuff that they do, I personally have not ever been impressed or moved enough to spend my money there. And that might just be my bias that I have against giving them my money. But also, no, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I really just kind of feel like, the colors are flat. Sure, the material might be cozy, but I know I can get cozy pieces somewhere else and it's not going to cost me that much money. I just know it. So I say all that to say, you didn't invest in Ami Collet because she was not an easy investment. If you had invested money in her, you would have actually had to work. Like, you would have actually had to be a shark, because I know she plays one on TV on Shark Tank. But had you invested money in that beauty brand, you would have actually had to do work to make her brand a household name amongst the beauty girlies. You would have had to find some content creators that were willing to do videos, and y'all would have had to pay them for that. You would have needed to get those products on their faces and in those videos so some things could start to go viral. You probably would have had to do some pop-ups in some Sephora stores. I'm thinking Los Angeles. I'm thinking New York. I'm thinking Miami. And I'm thinking Atlanta, because it's a Black-owned business. It's a woman-owned, Black-owned business. You know what I'm saying? Y'all would have had to get creative and do some stuff to make that brand a well-known brand. But you went for the easy thing, and as quiet as it's kept, not even going to hold you. If we combine what you said in this video about her to what you said in last week's snippet about the girls not working from home and them needing to come back to the office and all of that stuff, it really is starting to sound more and more like you have been able to achieve a certain level of success. And we're not going to talk about how you got there because, quite frankly, number one is kind of none of our business. Well, but you're selling a book about it. So I kind of feel like that makes it people's business. But number two, what I really feel is that that's neither here nor there because you're already there. You know what I'm saying? So if you did meet this man who was rich and he was able to kind of like pad your pockets a little bit, we never gonna hate on that. Like I always say, girls, get that cash. I'm never gonna hate on that. Yes, let that man elevate you if he can. But once you get to the top and you become a CEO, you're not supposed to turn back around and be like, oh no, y'all shouldn't be doing this and you should actually be going into the office and working for somebody. You really shouldn't be making it seem like entrepreneurship is like a dead end to basically where Ami Coley ended up, because that didn't have to be her story. And it's really not the story for a lot of entrepreneurs. Yes, entrepreneurs, they work hard. It's normally a one-woman show until it's not. And then once they can hire people and they can have a staff and they can start delegating work out, they themselves start to feel more like CEOs and less like entrepreneurs. And it is definitely a road to get there. We are not negating that. But what you can't do is take a much quicker route to the C-suite than most. Get in there and then kind of act like you know everything because you just so happen to be in the right circle because who you are married to. And I feel like enough of that is not being talked about online. And it's nothing wrong with marrying well and marrying into a situation and marrying into money. Again, we're not knocking that. We're knocking the messaging. You end up becoming successful doing whatever this is that you do, however it is you did it, right? You become a CEO. And once you became a CEO, you were supposed to make it easier for women of color to get these opportunities. You were supposed to kind of be willing to give some game. And I'm not saying all game had to be free game. If you want to put the game in a book and be like, here, if you want to know how I did this, or you want to know my best secrets for running companies and how I make all these businesses work and how I make them successful, girl, it's right here in a book. People would have been happy to buy the book. People would be happy to come to a workshop and listen to you talk. People will be happy to pay for a master class if the information is good and it's genuine and it's being delivered with love. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't mind blunt and direct as long as it's not nice, nasty or condescending. And some people are like, oh, she's not being condescending. She just has a British accent. Nah. You can tell that to somebody else. You can tell that to somebody else. I don't know how Diara, and I hope I'm saying her name right. It's either Diara or Daria. I don't know how she went back to work after that podcast episode aired. Like, I'm pretty sure that was an awkward day at work. And some people in comment sections were like, oh, well, this is something that Emma has talked about before on her podcast. These are not like new things that she's saying. The rest of y'all are just kind of new to it. And that might be all fine, well, and good. And if this is something that she has said before, then it was messed up when she said it the first time too. Y'all just go along to get along, and that is wrong. And maybe that's just the South in me. But I'm like, no, you don't go along to get along. If somebody says on the internet in front of a microphone that something you worked really hard to do, something you were actually successful at doing, just because her business closed, it doesn't mean it wasn't a success. That girl achieved something that most people will never. And so for you to get up there and say it was nothing special, like it wasn't extraordinary enough for me to get behind it, but basically I liked her enough to give her a job, no, miss me with that. If you thought enough of her to give her such a high level position at one of your companies, you thought enough of that girl to give her the funding that she needed. You just didn't do it because that would actually be real work that required real business acumen, real strategy. That was not a fast, quick way to the top, and you just didn't want to do the work. So if you like blunt and you like direct, that is very blunt, that is very direct. But you know, girl, what do I know? What do I know? I'm not running anybody's business. I'm just all up in yours. Hopefully Emma is not on our timelines next week. I sat down and I watched Nia Long and KeKe Palmer kiki it up for about an hour on Oh Baby, This Is KeKe Palmer. And you know, Nia Long is one of those actresses that we do hold in high esteem. We love her. We loved her in Boys in the Hood. We loved her in Friday. We loved her in Soul Food. We loved her in Love Jones. We loved her in The Best Man. We loved her when they brought The Best Man back as a TV show on Peacock. What was that called? The Final Chapters. I love her anytime she pops up in anything that I'm watching. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. What I really do enjoy about Nia Long is that she also seems very grounded, very like down to earth. Nia Long don't ever seem like she's trying to put on for you. She'll really say like, oh yeah, girl, nah, you couldn't have been with me in the 90s because I was out in the street. I was in the club. Okay. Like I was letting the drug dealers buy me purses and shoes. That's what I was on when I was in my 20s. And when she said that, I was like, oh, Nia, I tucked that fine piece of hair that's barely hanging on. I tucked it behind my ear and I said, oh, sis, do tell. Do tell. Because we love a good story from the 90s. She didn't get too much into any of that stuff. But she did say it. They talked a lot about dating on that episode of KeKe's podcast. I think KeKe is hilarious. Sometimes I don't always like who she has come on her show, but when it's somebody that she clearly has chemistry with, the interviews are so good. Like if you go back and watch the one she has with Mariah Carey rarely ever gives anybody too much, but she gives KeKe some. And I'm just like, oh yeah, KeKe, you really do bring out the fun energy in these women that we've been watching on TV for forever. But back to her interview with Nia. She talks to Nia about, of course, starring in the upcoming movie, Michael, which is about Michael Jackson, his life. She talks about how she got the role, how she prepared for the role because she's a boy mom. She talked about playing Katherine Jackson and how she just wanted to do the role justice because she understands, you know, that's a very important story to like Black American culture. And now I gotta say, Jackson 5 and American Dream, I think that's the official title of the movie that normally gets played on VH1 and BET or whatever all the time, like over and over again. That movie was done so well that I have got to admit, I have been trying to figure out what exactly is this movie about, which I get it. The Jackson 5 movie was more about, you know, Michael and all the brothers, like all the kids, them growing up, their childhood. You see their parents in there. So it kind of gives you like a taste of what their upbringing was and how they shot to superstardom and all of that. And I'm assuming this movie, Michael, probably recaps some of that early childhood stuff, but then they focus on him making maybe all the different albums, going through all of his different changes, like aesthetically. I hope if they do this movie and they don't talk about that man going from a fine ass Black man to, I don't know what shade, to fluorescent beige, like Beyonce said. Well, it was T.S. Madison, actually. But going to being a fluorescent beige man with long, curly, loose, wavy hair, that's going to be a problem for me. Like, I don't know if I would want to sit in the movie, come out of the movie, and that is not addressed, which we know from watching the Jackson 5 movie that they definitely talk about that a little bit. Like he talks about his nose and they kind of say, do they say he had, I don't want to say the wrong thing. What do they say that Michael had in that movie? Because I want to say they mention it. I'm going to look it up because I know that is what initially triggers the skin stuff. But I mean, was it really? Yeah, I thought so. Vitiligo. But I mean, I don't know. You know what? You know why that is confusing for me? Because, which I get, he's Michael Jackson, which means he had money, access, and resources. So if let's say you start experiencing that, right? And you start seeing your skin start to change. Why wouldn't we just let it be what it was? Why did we feel like we had to make everything match the lightest parts of us? Why? Like, why? Why did he do that? Why didn't anybody tell him? Oh, and maybe they did. Maybe I need to go back and watch the movie. Maybe I do. But why didn't anybody tell him like, oh, Michael, like, it's fine. This is something people have. Baby, you look good no matter what. These women, they still gonna be on you. And when you go back and you look at older pictures of him, Michael was fine. Like, yeah. And to see, and you know what is really my issue with some of this is that you see him looking like that. And then you see he just looks like he has a different face and everything. So for me, it's not just the bleaching of the skin or trying to like have one skin color. It's not really that for me. It is that combined with the nose, combined with the hair. He went from being, like is this a safe space? I'm going to say it is because I created it. He went from being like a fine ass black man to looking like something else. I don't know. And I'm not going to give that a word. I'm not going to give it a word because I don't want people to message me and take what I'm saying the wrong way. But yeah, he didn't look black no more. Like none of his features, none of it. He just didn't. And what's interesting about that is when you think about it as kids, when we were little, no one was really no one that I knew was making a big deal out of that. No one was talking about it. I think because he was Michael Jackson, people just kind of accepted it. And it's like you really didn't notice it as much. You just knew he was like Jackson 5 Michael. But then like all of a sudden, he was like the Dangerous album Michael. And sure, there was a sliding scale with the looks and the transformations because even Off the Wall Michael and like Thriller Michael did not look like the Dangerous album Michael, like at all. No. By the time he gave us Butterflies, no, completely different person. So I'm like, does the movie address all of that? Does it? And then somebody was saying that his sisters are not in the movie, like at all. Like they don't even mention Janet in the movie. And I'm like, well, how can that be? Because Janet and Michael had a huge song together. When that music video dropped, it literally was a world stop moment. And I believe at the time, it was like one of the most expensive music videos ever made. It was so futuristic. It was so cool. They had on their matching outfits. The choreography was tea. How you gonna have a movie about him and not mention her like at all? But I also hear great things about the movie. Like I hear that it's really good. But then again, I feel like that's coming from like celebrities and influencers because they're the only ones that have seen it at like the red carpet premieres. So I don't know. I guess we're going to have to wait until more people review it that are just, like you and me. We just go to the movies, we see what we see, and then we be like, oh, I could have watched that at home. And don't get mad at me for saying this. I really feel like for some reason that movie is giving, I might watch it at home. Like I don't feel pressed to be like in a theater seat with snacks to see Michael. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. Hopefully that doesn't make me a bad person. Well, it shouldn't. I've done worse. But you know what I'm saying? I don't feel, but I'm happy for Nia Long and I'm happy for this press run that she's on. I've been enjoying seeing her on all of the magazine covers, all of the different looks. She looks amazing. She's been promoting Estee Lauder. So it's like she's given us a 1-2 punch. She's talking about her upcoming movie with Lorenz Tate, which is supposed to be based on Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite album. Am I saying that right? Yes, that movie is so it's like I don't know if it's going to be a rom-com, but it's another good love movie with Nia Long and Lorenz Tate. And I love the way she talks about her male co-stars. Like she talked about Mekhi Phifer on that interview with KeKe Palmer. She talks about Lorenz Tate and she only says nothing but good things about them and like how fine they are. And like how fine they are in person. And that's what I love about her. Because I'm like, ooh, girl, no one says things like this in their interviews. I can tell you've really reached a point in your career and who you are as a woman where you're like, I really don't care how I'm being perceived. This is what I want to say. So I'm going to say it. It is a really fun interview. If you have not had a chance to watch it, girl, go check it out. I have also been seeing a lot of coverage for The Devil Wears Prada 2. A lot of red carpets, a lot of premieres, and unfortunately, that has come with a few spoilers. I think that movie has cameos that we were not supposed to know about, but because of the red carpet, now we know about them, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what role Sierra is going to play in The Devil Wears Prada 2. I don't know if it's going to be a model. I don't know if she works for the magazine. We don't know. I don't know if she's on the soundtrack. We don't know, but apparently she's involved in The Devil Wears Prada 2. And I'm excited to see what her involvement might be. Now, that movie doesn't come out until sometime in May. And hopefully between now and then we don't continue to get too many spoilers. But like, we already know Lucy Liu is in it, and I'm like, ooh, could y'all not have saved something? But I get it. They have to walk the carpet. It's probably in their contracts for them to do so. Anne Hathaway has been killing every single look I've seen. My goodness. And she's got this movie, and she's got a movie called Mother Something. What is the name of that movie? And she's with, let me see, because I keep seeing the ads for that on TikTok, and it looks like a really good movie. Mother Mary, that's the name of it. And that's coming out later this year. And she's in that with Michaela Cole, who is just so stunning. Oh, and FKA Twigs is in that movie too. So yeah, lots of things coming to the movies. And it's interesting how we pick and choose what we feel like we want to see at the movies. I still have not been able to make it to see You, Me, and Tuscany because I've been busy every weekend that it came out. Now, granted, I could have went and saw it the opening weekend, but a friend of mine was speaking on a panel at a book festival, and I kind of felt like, oh, I can see You and Me in Tuscany anytime, but I can't see her do her panel like anytime, so I'm gonna go do this instead of that, and I will catch that movie when I catch it. I do want to see that in the movie theater, and I think I'm gonna try to see it this coming week as a matinee before it leaves the theater. So that Devil Wears Prada 2, ooh, I'm kind of torn on whether or not I want to see that at the movies or not. I'm kind of torn. A part of me is like, oh, Tia, wait until it comes out and see what the reviews are. And a part of me is like, no, girl, you know you'll have a much better time watching that at home, because some movies are just at home movies, and it takes a lot to get me to buy into the fact that I need to be in the theater to experience your movie. Why do I think You, Me, and Tuscany is a theater movie? Oh, baby, because they don't make Black rom-coms every day. They don't make them every day. So I feel like when they make them, we need to go support them. And really, I'm not even going to hold you. I might just buy a ticket just to support the movie, even if I can't go. It's probably what I should have done the opening weekend, but I really actually want to go see. But if I feel like I'm not going to have time, that's what I'm going to do, just to support it so that they can keep making those kinds of films. All this other stuff, like this Michael movie, is going to be successful because it's about Michael Jackson, and everybody all over the world is going to go see it, which is great for Coleman Domingo and Nia Long. Devil Wears Prada 2, I feel like it's the same thing. Like, it'll do well here in the States, it'll do well overseas. But because I already know that's like a fun, girly movie, I already know I want to be able to be in my pajamas with my little snack board and my drink of choice, watching that in the comfort of my own home with a blanket. I don't know that I want to go sit in a theater and see that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there are levels and there's difference. They probably should have never really gave us streaming the way they did. I completely understand how that ruins the whole box office situation. Because if you wait long enough, I'm going to still pay to see the movie anyway. Like, when it comes to Prime, I'm going to still have to pay it. I don't have to pay to see it, but it's just going to be the way that I want to experience it, and not in the way that you guys are going to try to force me to experience it, because I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. I don't do the things I don't want to do anymore, and I don't think I want to do that. One of the things that I have been seeing a lot about on social media lately, and this kind of ties back into Cookbook Club, is that girls should be doing a girls' night out like every 22 days. And at first, when I read that, I was like, yeah, they're absolutely right. At least once a month, the girls should get together and do the things. But then I thought to myself, ooh, but the girls also have so many other responsibilities, and everybody is into their own little things that sometimes is more difficult than what it sounds. So you know what I've been doing? Okay, so we started with Cookbook Club. Then I saw the information about this study that had been done. And then I said to myself, well, you know what? I wonder if it's possible to start microdosing that joy, like that girlfriend time, so that you get those hits of it all throughout the month, and you're not waiting for the one big to do that as a girls' night out. because that is difficult to plan and to get people together on a regular basis. It's not always the easiest thing. But what your girlfriends probably do have time for, like I said, if they're doing something, like my friend was at the book festival, I'm like, oh yeah, I can go support her at her book festival. It was a great time. She spoke on the panel. Loved that for her. I took pictures and photos and all the things, videos. So she got some coverage from that. We got tacos from the taco truck. We got some really delicious lemonade. We sat down under a tree. We yapped for about an hour. She went on to finish doing her book festival things, and I got in my car and I went home. Okay. I met one of my girlfriends for coffee a couple days ago. We sat there for about an hour and 15 minutes. We chatted, we caught up. It was great. She needed to go do something. I needed to go do something, and boom, that was it. We were gone. I met my other friend this morning at the sauna. I went on my run. She went on her run. We met at the sauna at the end of the runs. We sat in there for 30 minutes, chatted. When the 30 minutes was up, we walked each other out to the parking lot. We waved and said, have a great weekend. Boom. Microdose the girlfriend joy. Like, it doesn't always have to be like a big to-do. It doesn't. It doesn't always have to be the big to-do. And I met another friend on Wednesday, I think it was, while our kids were at basketball training. We walked while they were getting their workout. We walked together, and that was great. We walked and we chatted and we laughed, and it was great. I'm like, actually, these smaller, little, more intimate moments work just as well as the big gathering of a girls' night out. Because once you do hit a certain age, number one, I don't know that people want to be out late like that all the time. I know I have astigmatism, so I'm really never trying to be out super late unless somebody else is driving. That's number one. Number two, you probably got me until about 10 o'clock. After 10 o'clock, if I'm not having the time of my life, I'm sleepy and I start to turn into a whole nother person. Like, I'm tired and I start acting like it. The experience really has to be like knocking me out of the water in order for me to be able to stay up past 10, I would say, right? So I like these cute daytime girlfriend check-ins that don't require too much time, don't require too much of anything. We're both doing something we wanted to do anyway. You get to feel that joy, that love, that good girlfriend time, and then you get to go on with your day and still get things accomplished. I love it. You don't have to be super dressed up. You know what I'm saying? There's not always makeup involved. I don't think I had on makeup one time when I saw any of these women this week. I know for a fact I didn't, because I had on workout clothes at all of them. Yes, I did actually. So I love that. If you have girlfriends that live close enough to you for y'all to meet, to do smaller activities together, girl, start doing that and see how that works for you. See how it makes you feel. You will feel so full, like your little cup, your little heart will be so full, and it'll remind you that you don't necessarily have to wait until it's somebody's birthday or it's like a super planned thing, like some type of club meeting to get together. Because while we love the super planned things, we don't always have to wait for those in order to get that same hit of dopamine that they talk about in that most recent research study about girls' nights out. Girl, who wants to wait 22 days? You can get that all up in between them 22. Something else that has been interesting to me that I kind of wanted to talk about here, maybe not in super great detail, but I just find it to be not interesting, more like you gotta be effing kidding me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait, no, before I talk about that, we have got to talk about Mary J. Blige, because I do not want to forget. Girl, I love watching House Guests with Scott Evans. Love it. Have yet to see an episode of that up until this point that I didn't think was good. He does a great job with that show. If you've never seen it, it's on YouTube. Mary J. Blige is his most recent guest, and she has never necessarily come off to me as like being the most fun, most personable girl in the world. Like, it would be hard for me to imagine Mary J. Blige having a sense of humor about herself and being able to like laugh and have a good little key about herself, And maybe if you always thought that like I did, watching this episode of House Guests just further confirmed that for you. Because when he asked her about that Burger King commercial, when I mean to tell you, the real Mary the real Mary came out. The real Mary came out because she was like, that wasn't effing funny then, and it's not effing funny now. Like, I lost friends over that. Dead serious. I know Scott was probably, if he could have clutched his pearls and did a check over his shoulder both ways, he probably would have been like, oh God, what did I do? But he had to compose himself and stay professional in the moment because he wasn't expecting that. He thought they were going to get a good little laugh out of bringing that up, because it is something that people laugh about now. But she says she don't even appreciate y'all laughing at it now. She said crispy tenders, fresh lettuce, French dressing, 3 cheeses wrapped up in a tortilla. And she said it ain't nothing funny about it. She said she lost friends over that. She said people said she was shucking and jiving over some fried chicken. And now, because I remember when that commercial was out, I was younger, so I probably didn't even have the thought process to even think more than Mary J. Blige is on a Burger King commercial. I probably didn't think nothing about it. I also don't really remember people being mad about it. Like, I don't remember it. And maybe they talked about it on morning radio or something like that. And I just missed it. But I'm like, Mary, girl, now come on. You had your hair done. You had on an outfit. You had on makeup. You had on your famous sunglasses. You were standing on a set in front of a microphone. You're saying that the commercial wasn't supposed to be that it was supposed to be some type of dream sequence or something like that. And then her singing was just supposed to be over that dream sequence, which, okay, fair enough. I can actually imagine that. I can imagine that being a commercial. However, I'm like, you were standing in front of cameras and I know you had to see them. So, but maybe she still thought it was just going to be an audio track over it. I don't know what she thought. Well, that's what she said she thought. But I'm like, I don't know how you possibly could have thought that. I really don't. I don't. But for her to say that she fell out with people because she was that upset about the commercial then, and she's clearly still very much so upset about it. She said she lost friends over this because people thought it was a joking matter, or people really thought she was, I want to say she used the word cooning. I would not have used, because I don't think that's what she was doing. I'm like, yeah, let me tell you something. If I had any type of vocal talent other than yapping on this podcast, if I could sing, I would be insufferable. So if Burger King came to me and they was like, hey, can you sing this jingle for this new snack wrap we got? And that money looked like something that would set me and my mama up for life, I would have been like, crispy chicken, fresh lettuce, French dressing, 3 cheeses wrapped up in absolutely. Yes, I'm going to sing about this snack wrap. Because what do you mean? The girls have been advertising things forever. And it necessarily hasn't been the best commercials. I mean, do y'all remember when, I want to say it was Beyonce and Britney Spears? They did that Pepsi commercial and they were supposed to be like gladiators or something like that. Was Jennifer Lopez in that commercial too? I can't remember. But I do remember that being a very corny commercial, and it was hypersexualized. And what does them being gladiators have to do with them drinking Pepsi? They didn't even have soda. But that, again, stupid commercial. And that took a lot for me to say something bad about Beyonce. Mary, girl, honestly, that was a long time ago. No one is upset about that commercial anymore. I can guarantee you that, because I've seen videos of people singing it online. I think Burger King brought that snack wrap back, and for a while it was trending and going viral, people getting it and singing the song. And I just wish she would have had more fun with that moment. And I wish she could have taken it back when it happened, it wasn't funny. Because isn't that what we do? Girl, when it happened, that was not funny, but we can laugh about it now. And then, it's not like we asking her to sing the jingle in real time today, but you could absolutely say ooh, Scott, boy, back then that was not funny. And do you know people actually stopped talking to me over that commercial? Can you believe that? It's funny now, but it was not funny then. And then he would have had a good time with that because he probably been like, oh, no, they didn't stop talking to you. And she would have been like, yeah. Or she could have been like, yeah. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Has it been? I think there has been a biopic on Mary. Has it? Or has she just been in Lifetime movies? Or have they been about her? Now I'm going to have to Google that. But now that is somebody who I'm like, yes, give me a movie about her. You know how they did that TLC movie? Let me Google that while I'm talking to y'all. Have they done a Mary J. Blige? Because I really need to know. In the same way that I question how Toni Morrison comes up with these dark themes and characters for these books. Like, girl, I really need to know how your mind arrived at this point. I need to know and we know a little bit about Mary's story. Like, we know she dated, what's his name from Jodeci. We know she was married to Kendu and he ain't shit. And he took all her money when they broke up. But like, Mary, we thought you had healed because I thought it was no more drama. And so now you're over here with Scott and it's like, girl, you can't take a joke. I don't think our healing process is quite where we thought it was because it was F-bombs. And I know Scott was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He wasn't prepared for it not to be a fun little lighthearted moment. Mary J. Blige documentary has their... Oh, yes. Mary J. Blige is My Life. Came out in 2021 as an Amazon original documentary that explores the creation of Blige's 1994 iconic album, My Life. Okay. Which highlights her struggles with depression, abuse, and addiction, featuring intimate live performances and reflections on how she turned personal pain into influential music. All right. But I don't think that really gives me everything that I was hoping. But I guess depression, abuse, and addiction, yeah, that's enough to make you not be able to take a joke. So maybe I take back what I said, but girl, not really. Girl, not really, because you know that boy didn't mean nothing by asking you that. I don't know. What do we think? The documentary includes personal reflections on navigating fame during a dark period in her life and shows how she found strength, making it a raw, true, and inspiring look at her career. Y'all, I don't know. I just want Mary to be able to take a joke. And y'all remember when people were talking about her performing at that show? And it was a clip of her like dancing or her like doing her little famous Mary J. Blige song or her famous Mary J. Blige dance where she's like pumping her arms out to the side, that dance, and she's like kicking that foot. But it was like, it was not the best rendition of it that day. And people were kind of saying like, hey, once you get to this point, you might just need to sit it down. And then Mary basically got online and was like, hey, F y'all, I'm tired. If you was doing this every day, you would be tired too. Performers get tired. And then I think she mentioned something about Beyonce and the internet was like, hey, now you can say a lot of things about that girl, but she never gives tired. She might give you that twirl that, oh, I'm so happy. And Beyonce will do that. Beyonce will be like, oh, choreography, not today. Me and this healing knee, we're about to do these fun girl twirls and that's all y'all are going to get. Y'all better catch these vocals. Remember that you're the visuals, baby. Have a good time and get out of here. Mary, again, girl, take a lighthearted moment where you can get it. The world is very heavy. The world is very heavy. Take a lighthearted moment where you can get it. I don't know if y'all have seen that interview or if you have even seen that clip. I did share it on the Instagram page today just so that people could see it before I talked about it. And I wish she had had more fun with it. But if you're a diehard Mary J. Blige fan and you were thinking about messaging me about any of this, please know that I will politely respond to you. But I still feel the same way I feel. And she could have had more fun with that moment with him. Okay, so now for the thing that I was going to talk about that I'm just kind of like, ooh, should I be doing this? Yes or no? So right now I'm in a space where I'm starting to like re-energize my work, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get on Substack and I'm going to start writing again because I want to work my word muscle. I want to start being creative in written form again. I took that creative writing class. I feel like while that class was not necessarily the class for me, I have looked into other classes that I guess won't be offered until later in the summer or early in the fall. And when those become available, I definitely want to try to get into some of those. So I need to make sure I keep my eye on my email. And I'm not the best at that. But yes, I want to take more writing classes. So I started a Substack so that I can just go ahead and start writing, right? I don't even know how often I'm going to update it, but something tells me it needs to be at least once a week. So I'm going to try to do that. Okay. I have also gone ahead and figured out what all I need to do to start teaching fitness classes again. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that and start teaching classes later on in 2026. That will be fun for me. That will get me started back into the fitness world. And creatively, it'll be fun. I have actually had a lot of ideas over the past year or so. Honestly, when Renaissance came out, that really did inspire me to start teaching classes again. Or sometimes when I hear music, I'll say to myself like, oh, I wish I was still teaching because I would create a really dope class to this particular song or this album. Like we used to do listening experiences. When I taught at the studio, the women there really loved Janet Jackson, which again, that's why I'm like, how is she not in that movie? I don't know. But they really love Janet Jackson. So we would have like Janet Jackson themed classes. I think one time we did like a Brandy and Monica themed playlist, which was way before its time. I'm such an Aquarius. I do things way before the people start to do them. But we did that. So like, yeah, music has always been such a huge part of my class experience. And I just feel like I want to tap back into that. Not that I feel like I want to teach classes like multiple times a week or anything like that. I feel like give me a class once a week and I'm going to be fine with that. And I already know what type of class I think I want to teach. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on the format, putting some workouts together so that when I approach a gym, which is probably going to be the gym I'm a member of, because why would I go to any other one? Like I'm ready to hit the ground running with things. So there's that. I'm going to do that. I have also been trying to figure out ways to build and grow the podcast, right? Because I feel like right now, like I'm in a better groove with the podcast. I feel like I'm becoming more comfortable with the things I talk about. It's not so like fitness and wellness, like niche down anymore, which I feel is a good thing. Like we talk enough about that stuff so that we're still helping people, still giving out advice, tidbits, things of that nature. But we also have a good girlfriend time over here too. And I really like that. So as one does, I have been reaching out to companies in the hopes that we could get some of these episodes sponsored, right? Okay. And so what's interesting to me is that, you reach out, you pitch, whatever. And I think when you do that, your name must get put, or like your contact information must get sent to some list somewhere, because then you start receiving emails from people who either want to come on your podcast to talk about things. And I have lots of those people who want to come on, like either they are, well, many of them have been in the skincare business. People who want to come on here and talk about skincare for like aging women. I've gotten a lot of those. But then a lot of the collaborative emails that I've gotten as far as like being like a partner and all of that goes, I've gotten offers for the weirdest things. And I don't know if that is the case for everyone who is like in the beginning stages of trying to do this. I don't know if it's just what companies are doing now, but what I do know, I have been taken aback. Let's word it that way. I have been quite taken aback at what they offer to give you and what they expect you to do for that offering. Sometimes I read those emails and I'm like, no, it can't be. And sometimes it's not so much what they want you to do, it's the turnaround time that they want you to do it in. And so to be very transparent, a lot of these companies that have been reaching out to me, they reach out to me and they're like, hey, we basically want to send you, let's say it's a TV remote company because I'm holding my remote in my hand. They're like, oh, we want to send you this TV remote. Once you receive it, we would love it if you would like take pictures with it. You can even do a video if you want to. Some of the companies say post it to your page. Some of the companies don't even require you to post it to your page. They are just like, send me those files, send me those photos, send me your raw video footage, right? In exchange for this TV remote. This is an unpaid opportunity, but should we decide that we want to be long-term partners by paying you, we will reach out to you. If you decide that you want to post something to your page, we'll be more than happy to offer your audience like a promo code so that they can save some money when they purchase this TV remote. And it's kind of like, okay. I said to myself, let me try this with one company just to see how it goes. Right? So you probably have seen it on my fitness page, Tia V Fitness, over on Instagram. A company reached out to me about their fitness towels. They wanted me to post about them. I wrote them back and was like, yeah, like, I don't know how I feel about doing this, but I do have a podcast. If you want to sponsor an episode, I'd be more than happy to do that and give out this same link and give out this same promo code over there. But they really, really wanted you to put it on Instagram. And I'm like, okay, Tia, nothing beats a failure but a try. Like, try doing this just to see how it works and just to see what happens. So I write them back and I'm like, you know what? On second thought, I'll take the fitness towels because I am about to start, like going back to Pilates, going to the sauna, all of the things. I will try your fitness towels. And if they are like nice, like a good quality, I will post the picture on Instagram and I will tell people where they can go buy them. And I will give out the promo code. Let's see how it works. Okay, so I get the towels. They're actually very nice. I actually really like them and I've been using them since I got them. So I have the towels. I put the post on Instagram, right? And I have tried to continue to share it in my stories every now and again, although that has not been required of me. You tell them like, oh, okay, I received the towels. You see the Instagram post. Crickets. Do you think I have heard back from them people? Nothing. And do you want to know why that is? It's because they didn't pay me. They just want exposure for their stuff. I don't think they even care if people are actually buying it or not. I think they just want the exposure. And so that is what this particular, if we want to call it a collab, that is what this has taught me. And I'm like, okay, so I don't think that is going to be for me. Like moving forward, when I get these kinds of emails, and I got the fitness towel email. I got an email a couple days ago from a Pilates socks company that basically wants me to do the same thing, but they're not offering people like a promo code or anything like that. They literally want to send me socks. They want me to put on the socks. They want me to send them photos and videos of me like wearing and using the socks. And that's it. Like, I don't even have to post it to my page or like anything. But when I responded to her saying all the same things, like, oh, I have a podcast, this is blah, 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 blah. She wrote me back and she was like, yeah, like they definitely prefer like the raw footage and the photos that you would send them. But she was like, and we kind of would want it within 2 days. And I was thinking within 2 days of me receiving it, like, girl, what if I receive your package on a Monday? I don't even go to Pilates until Thursday. Oh, so honey, like, but then she was like, oh, but if you need more time than that, like we're flexible. And I'm like, yeah, you don't have a choice but to be flexible, girl, because you're not paying me to do this. These socks are literally like, I don't know, I think they might've been $20 something. You think I'm gonna change up my schedule for free socks? I am a Pilates baddie, actually. I am in my Pilates princess era. I have grippy socks now. True enough, her socks, she claims, have like a double grippiness to them that are supposed to be way better than like the standard Pilates grippy sock, which has piqued my interest. But I'm like, oh, beloved, if I really want to try double grippy socks, I will give you the $22. And then if I actually like the socks, then I will tell people, oh, I could tell a difference between these socks and the socks I would normally wear. Oh, speaking of which, yesterday when I went to class, I wore my socks that the studio gave me as a gift. When I reached my 100th class, I'll have to post a picture, but they were toe socks, like the socks where each one of your toes goes in like a little toe spot, like gloves for your feet. Oh, I did not enjoy that. I didn't like that. I did not like the way my toes felt in those socks. So I probably won't be wearing any of those ever again. I prefer just like a regular traditional sock. But back to like the double grippiness of it all, I'm like, ooh, girl, you want this in 2 days and you're saying you might be able to be flexible with me. You're not paying people to do this. So the most you could hope for is that when they receive the socks, they actually send you what you have asked of them. Like that's not how any of this is supposed to work. I don't know. I got another email from a company who wanted me to partner with them to share wellness products, but the two products that they were most interested in, like people advertising, was shower steamers, which, you know, like you might drop the steamer in the bottom of your shower and you can breathe in eucalyptus or like lavender or whatever while you take your shower, right? It was that, or there was like an eye mask collection. And I think the eye mask collection was kind of the same thing. Each eye mask had its own thing that it did. And so, yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to receive these items, and in exchange for me receiving them, you're wanting me to do stuff that is actual work. And then you take my photos and my videos and do what with them exactly? Like, I also don't like that. Like, I don't like the idea of a company just having photos and videos of me without there being some type of like real contract. Like, you're not about to, baby, let me tell you, I didn't graduate from school yesterday. But when I mean to tell you, I was in that comms legal class, paying very much so close attention to everything that lawyer was teaching us. And honey, you will not be using my likeness for free. No, sir, no, ma'am. No pot, no ham. You won't. I won't be sending you photos and videos of me that you can use at your discretion at any time for free in exchange for an item that costs $18. Like, are you kidding me? It could be 10 years from now, your company could all of a sudden have a Super Bowl commercial, and here I am doing Pilates in your socks in a Super Bowl commercial. And you know what I got paid to do that? Zero, nada, nothing, absolutely zilch. I just got a free pair of double grippy socks. And so that's going to be a no for me. So I'm going to keep pushing along, and hopefully at some point, maybe I'll get on the right kind of PR list, or maybe the right company will respond to me. But because I do really love doing this, I would like for this to now be a part of like what I do, other than doing it the way I'm doing it. Because, you know, let's keep it a buck. I'm going to keep doing it anyway. But if I can do it and run an ad here or there, they would be real cute and classy, and I would mix them in so discreetly we wouldn't even know. Like, girl, yes. So that's where I'm at. So if you see me online telling or asking you to click on a link or do this or do that, like, girl, toss me a click, toss me a like, because I understand that all of this is part of the process. And as someone who is new to doing it, I gotta do it until I get to where I think you gotta be to get the other opportunities. So follow me over on Substack. If you are not following me on Instagram, you can do that by following me at Tia's Table Podcast, which is where you can find everything we talk about here on the podcast. Or you can follow me at Tia V Fitness, which is where I share my daily workouts. And I do also understand that I am not as chatty over on that page anymore. And I think that's just because I'm more comfortable chatting on the podcast page. So I still talk about fitness stuff over there. But on the TFB Fitness page, you definitely get like, this is the workout I did. Sometimes I might share the food that I ate or like a weekly recap. But I do feel like the podcast page is like where I live and like have more fun, and more of my personality is over there. So yes, girl, join me and follow me on all the things. I'm very excited to see what is in store for me for the rest of 2026, because I do finally feel better. Like that first Pilates class definitely ate me up, and I was almost in there crying on that reformer. The physical part of it was definitely a challenge, but just the mental part of it put so many things into perspective for me. And it basically reminded me that I just need to be way, way easier on myself. Like, because I didn't know. I had no idea before. Like before, I knew I was strong and I knew I used to work out all the time and like all of that. But I had no idea what a blessing it was to be physically capable in the way that I was before, until now that I'm not as physically capable as I used to be. I mean, my strength and all of that stuff is slowly coming back. And honestly, every time I work out, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can feel that I'm getting better. I can feel like I'm getting stronger. Or like last week, I couldn't do such and such, but this week I can. Or last week, I had to use my 10-pound dumbbells, but this week I'm doing this and I'm doing it with my 15s or my 20s, and it's not bothering me. Like, things are truly getting better. And right now, the only soreness that I ever feel is the true soreness you're supposed to feel after working out certain muscle groups, which is a good thing. So my abdomen is not feeling like as erect as it used to. I don't know if that's from just the consistent working out. I don't know if that's because I'm walking so much. And so if I was going to be sore or hurt there, like that acid is just like moving through me. I don't know if it's that, or I don't know if it's just like a time thing. And as time passes, you heal more internally. And of course, those are things you can't see, but I really do feel like I am so much better now. So I'm excited to either start teaching classes, start writing more, or just start getting back into a space that feels like I'm building a career for myself, or like I'm working. I'm not crying, my nose is stopped up, or that I'm working in some capacity. So yes, just, when you see me out on those social media streets, girl, toss me some love, because I surely would appreciate it. And I think that's it. What time is it now? It's 7:15. Yes. So my baby should be getting out of basketball practice and he should be heading home any minute. Ooh, when I was at Kroger today, I'm going to tell y'all this and then I'm going to go. I probably should have said this at the beginning in the Tia's Table segment, but I forgot about it. I was in Kroger today between school pickups. I picked up my daughter. We went to Kroger. Then I go get my son. While I was in there, the cheese department, the young man that works in that cheese department, I know him. He don't know me, because I see him in there all the time and he always helps me with cheeses. But I know he don't know me from nobody else that comes in the store. Anyway, I was looking at cheeses because I wanted to get some feta cheese to go with the salad I was having for dinner. And so I'm looking at cheeses and he is like, "Ma'am, would you like to try a sample?" And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Is it not Friday? So he was like, "This is some type of Mexican parm cheese with a little bit of spicy guacamole, and I want to say it was like a slice of prosciutto, if I'm not mistaken, on an avocado cracker." Y'all, I put that whole thing in my mouth at one time. And when I mean to tell you that thing was good, it was good. I said, "Oh, son, nephew, I'm going to need for you to come over here and show me everything that was on that cracker. Show me the crackers, show me the cheese, show me all the things, because I have got to have this later on tonight when I'm up watching TV." And so he did. He walked me through the deli department. They were sold out of the crackers, but I got all the other items and I went to the actual cracker department or like section in the store and bought some similar flavored crackers. So I think I'm going to be fine. But oh, honey, when I mean to tell you, I'm very excited about later on tonight and having a few little spicy, yummy bites before I go to bed. I'm very excited about it. I will have to take a picture of those and share them on Instagram, because that little bite was absolutely delicious. Absolutely. It was delicious. Okay. All right. The next time you're in Kroger, I might be the only one that's in there as often as I am, but the next time you're out, girl, you compliment someone, you say something nice to her, you make her day, make her smile. Be a real good friend when you're out there. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you. And never knock another woman's hustle. Never knock another woman's hustle. I'm not knocking Emma's hustle. I think I'm just knocking the delivery. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking Mary's personality per se. I'm just like, girl, lighten up, take a joke. Do you know what I'm saying? Laugh a little bit. It will make you feel so much better. I will talk to you all next week, hopefully a little sooner, hopefully like on Wednesday or Thursday, but next week, meet me right here, girl. Have a great weekend. Love you. Bye.